Hi sisters! Today's video is going to be pretty neat because I'm going to get to show you a few different things. I have just removed my mani and I just popped them off, and I'll do a video on how I remove them because I use this UNT Ready for Takeoff peel base on top of my clear nail base, and so I just popped them off. And what I wanted to show you is what it looks like when I need to fill a clear base on my nails. As you can see, these are looking really horrible because I took my clippers here and I clip away anything that is loose on my nail. And these are the areas that I'm going to fill. I'm also going to get to show you how I build an apex with my clear on my one natural nail here. And then I'm going to show you how I apply my tea bag filters on my two broken nails. So I've actually done all of that here already. I had to do a tea bag extension on this nail and on this nail. And then I just had to fill my clear base here, here, and here. This nail, let's see if I can get a good, okay, this is a good representation of what it'll look like when you fill your clear, because you can kind of see, let's see if I can get that a little clearer there. Can you see that? Okay, there. So you can kind of see where the old clear dip was. And so I have filled in this clear, and you can kind of see where it just blends into my natural nail there. Okay, I hope I'm catching this on camera. So ultimately, you should have a really smooth base to do your dips with, especially if you're doing peel base. This one too, there we go. So I've filled in this. I was working in the garden, so I've got like a little bit of mud under there that I couldn't quite get up. And I didn't feel like chipping away at the nail because it was in such good condition. But this is just a tip that I applied, and I created sort of my apex. I don't know if it'll catch that. And this was a fill-in. And then this one I created tea bag filter. And I do not like the way that my apex turned out because it barely turned out at all. So you can kind of see this nail is still pretty flat. So hopefully I do a better job on the other nails that I'm going to show you. So that's this video. We'll go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to show you how I fill first. So if you could see that, let's see if I can turn it this way. Okay. So that's pretty thick clear. Okay, can you see that? Okay, there we go. So that's pretty thick because I have been filling my clear for about 3 weeks now. When it gets too thick, I'll just go ahead and remove it and start fresh, like I did on a few of these. But for the video, I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like to fill in this clear. So start with obviously clean nails. I've pushed back my cuticles. I sanitized my hands with just regular hand sanitizer. And the first thing I'm gonna do is file all of this really thick clear down, okay? And I have an e-drill, so sometimes I will use that. But for the video, I'm just gonna show you what it looks like just using a regular file, because a lot of people don't really have an e-file. So I wanted to show you that it's super simple, even with just a regular file. And my goal is to get my clear dip to be as flush with my natural nail as possible. And then I'm going to fill all of that with a fresh clear dip. So this part may take some time. I will file the top of my nail a little bit too, because when I fill in, I'll put a very thin coat up top, and I don't want my nails to be super thick. So I get it down as best as I can, and these are pretty thick, so you know, filing away a couple layers there isn't gonna hurt. And the reason I started doing this is because I like to have strength in my nails. So the nails that I actually do have, like this one here and my thumb, okay, these are my natural nails. And I like the length. I like to try to keep the length. And I noticed that if I take my clear off, or if I soak my nails in acetone every time, they get really hard. So here is a natural nail without anything on it. I know it looks kind of rough, but it's actually pretty strong considering I dip every week. But I haven't had to use acetone. I can't even remember the last time I've used acetone. It's definitely been a few months. Because usually I avoid it by either using nail guards on my natural nails and then dipping like normal, or as of late, doing this method where I just keep clear base on my natural nails and then use the peel base. Just noticed that my clear was open while I'm filing. Okay, so all right, so it's still a little thick, so I'm gonna keep filing that down there. This side is pretty decent. Just need to get this side a little bit. Okay. So once I like how flat I've been able to get the nail, let's see if I can show you guys now. Compared to what it was, it is almost flush with my natural nail. Okay. And so you can still sort of see where my clear is and where my natural nail is. But that's what I'm gonna fill in so that it looks more like that. Let me do my pinky. Please feel free to fast forward through the filing. This is just basic filing here, nothing special. Just filing gently so that I don't hurt my cuticles or my fingers. But enough so that it's as flat as it possibly can get to the natural nail. I have such a great apex on this pinky here compared to the other one. Okay, so I am pretty satisfied now that I've gotten the clear as flush with my natural nail as I possibly can get. Okay, So what I'm going to do is wipe my nails down with some rubbing alcohol. So let me grab it here. I just use regular rubbing alcohol. I don't use any special like dehydrator. These work great. Okay. So I will do final inspection to see if I like how I filed them, and I do. Okay. Oops, where did it go? Okay. All right, I'm gonna start with my pinky first now. I hope that I stay in frame. I'm really bad at that. So, as you see there, and I just use whatever clear. This one is a Peppy French Pink, which is really close to their clear. I had gotten this before they came out with their clear, so. And I am using dipped liquid for this base. Okay. I like to put my little finger cut so that it slopes towards my cuticle as opposed to away from my cuticle when I do this. I will alternate my finger cut as needed depending on, you know, whether I'm filing or whether I want just a little bit more assistance for my liquid. So I'm gonna point this towards my cuticle. Obviously, if you don't have one, you just, you know, brace your finger however you brace it. And then I just like to have a gentle little angle so that my liquid moves a little closer to the base of my nail. Okay, so going to make sure I'm in the frame. And I'm also doing this with my non-dominant hand, so I'm right-handed. So this should prove for a fun video because I'm sure it's going to cause some irritation. Okay, so I believe I'm in the frame. And I just start with a little bit of liquid, not too much liquid. And, okay, let me see. I'm going to try it like this. Ugh. Okay. So I'm going to put the concentration of the liquid right where the fill needs to be. So I kind of want it to like pull, like make a little puddle in that area. And then I'll just gently drag it down. So I don't want my nail to continue to get thicker, but I do want it to fill in those gaps there. And so I'll stick my nail down there. Quick little tap. Okay. So it looks a little rough, but that's pretty much the gist of it. And I'll tap it down with a little bit of pressure because I like for it to be pretty flush with my nail. Okay. So that's what it looks like. I'm gonna come up just a tiny bit closer to my cuticle so that it makes more of a natural transition to the nail. So let me brush this off camera. Okay. I wonder if you guys can hear my husband snoring in the background. Okay. So I'm gonna come up just a tiny bit. So this one is just going to be a quick thin layer. Main camera, okay. I'm gonna put my drop and push to where I want my liquid to be, and just a quick, easy little full coat there, and dip. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna tap that down. Okay. So that's how it would look. All right, let me brush this off, and I'm gonna move on to my other nail, and then I'm gonna show you how I clean this up to make it look better. Okay. So there's that nail. Now let's move on to this hideous looking nail here. Okay. Again, I'm gonna grab my cut, and I may have to hold it like this. Okay. Just a little bit. And I'm gonna concentrate here. So get a lot liquid there and a lot there. And then I'm just gonna almost just wipe off the excess of the brush. That's how little I want it to be. Okay. Quick dip. Okay. Let's tap this down. So I can see already I'm going to do the same thing I did on here, which is do one more layer. Okay. Let me brush this off. I do not like to go all the way to my cuticle when I dip with my clears. I don't know if you can catch that. They do stop a good distance away. And that's just because the way that I apply my actual dip color, I do go all the way, obviously, to my cuticles. But when it's time for them to come off, I like to just be able to snip them away and then pop them off because I've got the peel base on. And then that just leaves my clear base intact a little bit more. So now I'm just gonna go with a full application here. Am I in the camera? Yes. Okay, I just push that in place. And a very thin coat because this nail is already thick. Okay. All right, got a little closer. A nice little flatter there. So now I'm gonna clean up. Okay. Before I start filing and buffing, I am gonna set it so that it's nice and firm. What I do like about these particular liquid, it seems to sort of self-level itself. So when I put it in an area that's really shallow, the liquid just kind of naturally, you know, settles there, which is really great for filling in. Okay, so now it's time for close inspections and shaping and buffing. Okay, so I've got dip on the sides that I don't like. This one's not so bad. And thickness, it's not so bad. Okay, and it's pretty smooth. So not a lot of work that I'll have to do, which is great for camera. Okay, so I'm just going to shape this. Sometimes these thick files can't really get as close as you'd like, so I'll use my metal file here. Okay. So now I should be able to get that little ridge. Yep. highly recommend, if you don't have a finger cat, get one. It just helps, you know, with you not having to hold your fingernail up or find a way to brace it. I used to get a lot of cramps in my fingers before I got this thing. This one is from Liquid. I always forget the name of it. I'm sure I'll remember before the video's over. Okay. Okay, satisfied with that shape. Okay. This entire time I've been trying to remember what the name of this finger cut is and can't think of it. So frustrating. My old brain doesn't want to help out here. Okay. So I am pretty satisfied with that shape. Okay, so now I'm gonna go. I don't have to do too much because it's actually pretty smooth. I do like Peppy's Clear. It does go on very smooth. And the liquid as well. So don't need too much buffing. Unless I'm in a rush and then I start leaving thicker gloops of liquid and okay. I am pretty satisfied with how this turned out. Let's show you how it looks. I'm gonna wipe it down with, or actually I'll just do one more set on here. Get it nice and wet so you can see what that looks like. Okay. All right, there are my 2 fill-ins. Okay. Pretty big difference from what it looked like before. And those are pretty much ready to get a layer, couple layers of peel base and then dip on top. All right, so this one I'm going to show you how I build my apex. I know there's a lot of ways out there and I am not a professional at all. So just want to show you what works for me. And maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. But that's why we're all on this nail journey together. You know, learning from each other and trying new things and seeing what works and what won't work. Okay. So I do mine very simple. You know, I start with a small line of base right down the center. And then I will make that wider and wider. And the wider I go, the higher up on towards my cuticle I'll go until I get a really nice, let's see if I can show the difference between this one. Let's see. It's so hard to get like a good, if I move my light a little bit. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I don't know if you guys could see that compared to how flat that is. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see it. And I'm sure once you start doing yours in person, you'll be able to see that as well. So, just gonna give it another quick wipe. All right. Okay, I just take a little bit of liquid and I concentrate it right down the center. Okay, and I'll dip that. Okay. And so that's my first layer right there. It's not perfect, but it ends up looking pretty good in the end. Okay, brushed that off. So you can kind of see where my clear is there. I can actually see it better on camera. All right, so now I'm going to go over that exact same location, except I'm going to extend it a little further up towards the cuticle and make sure to get some off the sides of that. So I'm going to go a little wider. Okay. All right, you can see I went a little wider and a little higher. And then just going to keep doing the same thing. So a little bit higher and a little bit wider. Okay. And then on this last dip here, just checking to see how I like the shape there. I might do 2 more layers, actually, before I do the full nail. Okay, so I want it a little bit fuller here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a nice little layer there, and then thin it out. So it's a little thicker, and then thinner on the sides. Okay. Just patting it down. All right, so now I'm gonna go full nail. What's that? What is that? I forgot, like a hair. Probably a hair that was in my dip. Okay. So now I'm going full nail here. Well, not full, because I don't go all the way to my cuticle, but as close to the cuticle as I'd like, which I leave. I don't know what the measurement would be, but I leave a pretty good gap there. Okay. So there's my nail, and that's how I build my apex. So it needs to be buffed because it's not smooth. Just tap there, brush off. Okay. Ah, it's turning pink because I must have some like pink color on here. Boo. But that's okay. That's gonna be my bottom layer there. So I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Okay, I'm going to file into shape and buff. Okay. Fingers getting tired, so I'll grab my little cup. Liquid layers. I knew it would come to me. Liquid layers. Liquid layers. If you've seen any of my other videos, I do that all the time. I'm so sorry, liquid layers. I don't mean to purposely forget your product name. And I do love your cat so much. I'm just so disrespectful. I'm so sorry. I promise it's just my brain is retarded and old. Okay. Does that ever happen to you guys? I mean, I know it does. I can't be the only one that has brain farts like that. Okay. I'm gonna buff. Buff, buff, buff. Buffing is where the magic happens. I love when my nails just look a hot mess and I'm terrified they're gonna just look like crap, and then you just buff away all of the imperfections and you're left with such a beautiful smooth nail. It's not exactly as smooth as I'd like it. That ridge is still, you know, I really like a smooth transition, like a level transition to my natural nail. This isn't exactly it, but oh, that's how it's gonna stay. And hopefully once I get a dip on top of that, a colored dip, no one will even notice. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Ugh, that shape. I'm the worst at shaping. I don't know how you ladies shape your nails so perfectly. I absolutely suck. I'll go too angled on one side like this. You see that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too critical, but definitely not my fave. All right, so let me do another set on here. Okay. And there you go. That is how I build. I hate shadows. Okay, trying to get my light in here. There's my apex. There's my nail. So 3 down, 2 to go. Okay. Now's the fun part. Doing tea bags. So for tea bags, I like to use my little tweezers, and then I already cut my tea bags into size here. Can't remember which side, so I've got to double check. Oh, my hands are shaking. Gonna go with that side. Okay. So what I've tried doing the last couple times is putting the liquid directly on the tea bag tip, because I noticed sometimes when I put the liquid like on my nail first and then stick the tea bag down, I'll get like a ridge, like a bump there, and I really hate that. So measure one more time and just flip it over, and I get a nice generous amount of liquid right on there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna place that where I want it. Oops. Yeah. Joys of course. Okay, so that was a fail. And I doubt I'm gonna edit that out. So let me buff that off my nail right quick. Okay. I'm gonna cut another piece. All right, I guess you could just see how I cut it then. Whatever. All right. I just measure and cut as if you guys already didn't know how to do that. Okay. Did anybody watch Hamilton on Friday? I'm asking like this is alive and I can see your answers. Oh, I'm a big Hamilton fan, and we had a little Hamilton party, so that was fun. Other than that, we did not have any major 4th of July plans. Okay, let's try this again. So a nice layer of liquid, and we're going to place that there with my shaky hands. Okay, cool. That worked out much better. Okay, just gonna tap that into place there. Okay. Yay, it worked. Okay, I've got another piece here for my thumb. My thumb. And I think this side is wider. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully this goes on without issues. Okay, nice liquid, and right in the center. Bam, what? Can we move into place here? Stick, okay, there. Stick, okay, yay. All right. Ugh, don't bend your other tea bag while you're trying to apply another one. Okay. there you go. Flimsy old tea bags are gonna turn into some pretty, wait, that's natural nail. This is a tea bag. Pretty sturdy nails. Okay. So I don't really worry about cutting them into shape yet because they're so fragile. I just want to get my dip on them. Okay, so now creating an apex with a tea bag can be a little trickier, okay, because a tea bag likes to shift. So I like to get my dip sort of ready on an angle, and then I'll just lay my tea bag right on there. But I do the same process, okay? I'm going to dip down the center first. Okay. Down the center. And then I'm going to lay it in place. And you'll see your tea bag kind of wants to bend and okay. Brush that off. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Over the same location and then gently a little further out. And still laying it. Okay. I'm not gonna start to bend the tea bag yet because it's not all the way dipped to the edges. Brush. Okay. So I'm actually going to do a little layer there. Okay. Getting closer to it being all the way full. This is actually going to be my last layer because I'm quite satisfied with the arch. I'm actually going to put a little dot there. First. Now I'm going to go in with the entire nail, or close to it. Okay. Now this is usually where I will kind of bend my sides in a little if the tea bag seems flat. A lot of this is getting cut off, shaved off, filed off, whatever you want to call it. All right, patting down the edges here. Okay. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna leave that like that. Work on my thumb. Okay. So thumb in the center and lay it flat. It's still a little wet there. Okay. Stinking hairs in my dip. Where is it? Catching it. There it is. Nope. I'm sorry, guys. This is so annoying. Okay. Okay. I'm just kind of looking at where I left off and then where I want it to go. Okay. All right. It's kind of getting thicker. And back down the center and a little bit wider than the last one. Okay. Nicely developing apex. Still a little liquidy there. Okay. I am pretty satisfied with that, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and cover the nail. Okay. All right, let's see how that looks when I dust it off. Not so bad. Not so bad at all. Okay, so now I've got to cut file shape. So it's definitely going to get cut down a little bit and shaped. So I'm just going to use this to mold that back. Same thing with this one. Put this down. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna set it before I start filing and buffing. You'll never believe what I just grabbed. Alright, no need for panic. Just grab an alcohol wipe. Wipe it off. don't know how this is going to affect the outcome of the nail. I'm gonna be really sad if I have to redo it, but chances I take not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and shape. If anybody has like tips on shaping, I would love if you shared them below. You know, what do you do? How do you get the shape that you want? Or any professionals on here want to leave girls any tips? That'd be sweet. Because I suck. I don't know why this nail is like, I don't know if it's my finger. It's like cocked down. Honey, that's your finger. This nail is crooked. Oh, honey. Your finger crooked. I don't know if that's good. Okay. It's definitely like cocked, but yeah, how it goes. Never turn out perfect. Or, well, for some of you they do. Just you ladies have some pretty perfect nails out there. Mine never really turn out as perfect as I'd like them to, but turn out pretty nice for having done them myself. Okay. I don't know why one side of the nail doesn't ever really look like the other side. Alright, I'm gonna leave that like that for now, just for the sake of the video. I'll come back to that later. And this has a lot of overhang, so I'm gonna actually cut a lot of this overhang off. That'll cut down on my filing time. Okay, so the number 2, the set, actually did harden. So I'm hoping that putting that little bit of shine on there accidentally doesn't ruin my shine later. It shouldn't, or my number 1, I should say, because I'm gonna dip number 1. But it actually should be good because I put about 3 layers of this directly on here, and then I start dipping, so I think I'll be okay. was a lot shorter than this one. It's okay. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start buffing these. Oh my gosh, this video is almost an hour. I'm sorry, but I hope that it was worth your time. If you stuck in like this entire video, you're awesome. And I thank you for watching. And I hope that I've given you something, maybe, you know, some little tip that you walk away with that just makes you happy and makes your nail journey a little easier. Oh my God, I had to like check the camera really quick because I realized I was like in my drawers doing this and never checked to make sure that none of me was in the camera view. Guess that wouldn't have been so bad since this isn't live. I could have just redone the video another day. Okay, so I'm gonna work on this a little bit more, but you guys get the gist of it, right? I mean, that's done. So those are my 2 tea bags. Tea bag tips. So this is my natural nail, and that's a tea bag tip. And then I did my apex, right? Did an apex for them. So I'm gonna put my last set on here, and I'll work on the rest of this off camera and then get to dipping. So ladies, thank you again for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. If you found anything helpful, please like and subscribe. And I will try to continue to produce content that is beneficial to you, because I know your time is precious, as is all of ours. So take care.